Here's more wrestling news for April 9th, 2023, and we're starting with Drew McIntyre, whose contract with WWE is due to expire before the end of 2023, meaning WWE has less than 9 months to lock him into a new contract. McIntyre is planning on waiting until later down the line before he considers signing anything, and there's a number of factors for the former champion to consider. WWE is understandably eager to keep one of their top stars on the roster, and very much plan on keeping him around for a long time to come, but those talks may not go as the company hopes. Wade Keller of PW Torch reports that Drew is unhappy with his current situation in WWE, specifically the pay and creative offered on his contract renewal. Other than the recent storyline with Gunther and Sheamus, McIntyre has been practically aimless since Clash at the Castle, and it has been speculated that Drew was pulled from this week's SmackDown due to the effects their WrestleMania match had on him. It's also been reported that McIntyre was pulled from SmackDown due to a health concern, and the ongoing negotiations are a matter of great concern backstage. It is worth pointing out that WWE has a history of making last-minute offers to talent whose contracts are set to expire, and that superstars have used the possibility of leaving in the past to leverage better deals for themselves. Given McIntyre's popularity with fans, especially in his native UK, as well as his in-ring abilities, it's not hard to imagine that he would be able to secure a lucrative deal with WWE or another promotion should he decide to become a free agent. The situation with McIntyre has raised concerns both within WWE and with fans, and while the promotion wants to keep him around, that's a decision that only Drew can make. A former Impact World Champion with several smaller promotions to his name, it was McIntyre's determination to prove how good he can be outside WWE that led to the company re-signing him in 2017. But what do you think to this situation? Did McIntyre miss SmackDown because of his health, or because of this unhappiness? And do you think he'll re-sign with WWE later this year? Give your predictions in the comments. It's been 1 year and 1 week since Cody Rhodes made his return to WWE, and these past 53 weeks have been arguably the most wild time in WWE. From championships being unified to champions walking out to McMahon's retirement and shocking return, the past year has been incredible and has culminated with the sale of the entire promotion. Prior to his time in WWE, Cody spent 6 years away from WWE, but when speaking to the Los Angeles Times, said he hasn't noticed any big changes with the promotion. He explained, "Not for me personally. Because of who I returned as, I have a grasp on it. The American Nightmare, the name sounds wild and ridiculous, but it's not so much performative as much as I know who I am. There has been a trust placed in me by WWE. That may be the highest honor in all of this. For me, I haven't noticed. I kind of chuckle when I see, I have friends in the media, such and such, this is changing, this sale might happen, this might happen. Being on the ground and seeing it, we just have great shows and fans seem really happy, and we've been on this road to WrestleMania, and it's been very consistent. Nothing personally has changed for me or made it difficult in terms of, maybe it is and I just don't see it. I've been able to start how I did coming back at WrestleMania, especially the Raw after Mania, and I feel it was heading towards one spot, and that's the main event of this WrestleMania." While Cody may not have noticed many changes to WWE from when he left to when he returned, the fans certainly have, with many changes to the company being seen as negative. As for what's next for Cody, it's expected that he will be facing Brock Lesnar soon enough, and after 6 years away, Rhodes remains determined to finish the story and become undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Randy Orton has suffered several injuries throughout his decade-long career, however, the latest one seems to be much more severe. On the May 20th edition of SmackDown, Orton and Matt Riddle competed in a match against the Usos, but a post-match beatdown by the Bloodline left Orton with a spine injury. Following consultations with neurosurgeries and orthopedic spine surgeons, Orton underwent successful surgery in November to fuse his lower back. Randy Orton's wife Kim confirmed the report through an Instagram post. In an update on Randy Orton's recovery time and return, the Wrestling Observer newsletter has reported that Orton's back injury is not yet healed to the point where he can be medically cleared for an in-ring return. This news has caused WWE to send out an official statement dismissing any speculation about Orton making a surprise appearance anytime soon. For those not aware, back fusion surgery, also known as spinal fusion surgery, is typically performed to treat conditions such as spinal fractures, herniated discs, and degenerative disc disease. The surgery involves removing the damaged or diseased disc or vertebrae and replacing them with bone grafts or synthetic bone substitutes. The surgeon may also use metal plates, screws, or rods to hold the spine in place while it heals. The goal of the surgery is to stabilize the spine, reduce pain, and improve overall spinal function. It can take several months to a year or more for athletes to return to their pre-injury level of activity. The exact recovery time depends on factors such as the severity of the injury, the type of surgery performed, the patient's overall health, and the extent of physical therapy and rehabilitation. What do you think Randy Orton's future holds after undergoing back fusion surgery? Do you think he should retire, keeping in mind the risk that is involved? Sound off in the comments below. Last year was certainly interesting for WWE, but as Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics reports, the wild 2022 didn't stop WWE's execs from earning a fortune. Vince McMahon earned $12.4 million in 2022, more than the $11.6 million Triple H made, but less than the $14.3 million Stephanie McMahon made. And what do you make to these executives earning such a fortune last year? Yesterday, the Squared Circle Expo informed fans going into the event that Sabu would not be able to appear, as he had been rushed to a nearby hospital with a serious medical emergency. The report didn't go into specifics about the ECW veteran, but in a tweet, Sabu was able to give an update saying he is doing better and thanked everyone who reached out with their well wishes. We can't say with any certainty what happened to Sabu, but it seems like he is going to be okay, and we'd like to wish the iconic violent wrestler a very speedy recovery. At the Hall of Fame, Konnan made his return to WWE, but fans could be seeing more of the Mexican wrestling legend. During his podcast, Konnan teased doing more in WWE, saying, "I don't want to get into it, but it looks like we might have another conversation. And do you want to see more of Konnan in the company?" With Endeavor's new company consisting of WWE and UFC set to launch later this year, there has been a lot of talk about the world of mixed martial arts, especially since a lot of MMA fighters have gone on to join the WWE. Matt Riddle, Shayna Baszler, and Ronda Rousey are just some of the names to transfer from the Octagon to the Squared Circle, and Dillon Danis could be next. Ringside News were informed that Danis is showing a lot of interest in signing with WWE and that there is mutual interest on both sides. Danis has said that he has 2 fights left on his Bellator contract in 2023 and plans to have at least one more fight after that. But after that, expect the fighter to try and make a name for himself in WWE. During this week's AEW Dynamite, Tony Khan announced the All In event for Wembley Stadium later this year, marking the first time that the promotion has come to the UK. The choice of Wembley has been seen as a huge gamble for AEW, as the site can hold 90,000 fans, over 4 times as much as AEW's highest attended show, which was the 2021 Grand Slam Dynamite that took just over 20,000 fans. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reported that pre-registration for the show has surpassed 25,000, so it's clear that there is a ton of interest in the show. If every one of these people buy just 1 ticket each, then All In will easily become AEW's highest attended event, and there will be plenty of fans wanting to go who aren't on the pre-registration. AEW is expected to have a mammoth card for All In, filled with the biggest names in the company, and time will tell if the gamble of a 90,000-seat stadium pay off. When Matt Cardona was asked in an interview this week what he eats on his day off, the former Broski had quite the answer: Chelsea Green. After mentioning his wife in the interview, Twitter had a field day with Cardona's answer, with some calling it pure savagery, and the consensus was that the response was hilarious. Cardona and Green married on New Year's Eve 2021 and have been for a couple of years, and it's clear that they have a very strong relationship for Matt to say something like this. And we're ending with John Tank Toland, a name fans may not know, but some WWE fans may remember his time as James Dick. Alongside his tag partner Chad Dick, the pair, who were known by their surnames, were a team of Chippendale dancers who only lasted a couple of months in 2005 before being released due to a backstage fight. Speaking on the Cheap Heat podcast, Toland recalled being unhappy with the name and hoped to have it changed, saying, "I was like, Steph," McMahon, who was head of creative at the time, "can we at least spell it Dicks?" And she's like, "No, it's gotta be the correct spelling." And I was like, "All right." She's like, "It's gonna be Chad Dick and you're gonna be James Dick." I was like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna be James Dick." It wasn't John Dick, which is my real name, because there's already John Cena, John Bradshaw, My whole thing was, why couldn't you have called me Tank Dick? I just don't get it. Tank Dick would have at least been cool, like Tank Dick, you know? But yeah, so it is what it is. Unsurprisingly, the Dicks did not join the ranks of the Hardys, the Road Warriors, and the Hart Foundation as one of wrestling's iconic teams, and while losing your job sucks, at least Toland wasn't a dick anymore.